So you said that, the Roman Empire, maybe ancient Greece, maybe the societies before that, and now societies after that, the society we live in, are very different. And so applying the lessons of history, you have to be careful doing so. But are there things that are the same with us humans? So of everything you've studied across hundreds of years and centuries, are there aspects of human nature that kind of persist?
So look, intellectually, I have gone through periods when I was a grad student, it was, this was kind of when postmodernism, what we might call loosely, was kind of alive and well and had not yet been kicked in the pants. It was very common to find colleagues who did not believe that there was such a thing as, let's say, human nature. In other words, that, let's say, the parameters of human psychology are, yes, there's considerable variation, but they're within a certain set of, norms. Like we're not going to behave like different species, and that they did not believe that there was such a thing. In other words, that all of human history is essentially a series of incommensurate slices of difference, right? That you just couldn't go from one to the next. And I think it's a very problematic view for all kinds of reasons. Like how small do you slice these slices? I mean, no, I'm with Thucydides on this one, who says that, more or less human beings are going to, more or less, they're going to be after, right? They love and they hate and they have ambitions and they're incompetent and, you find the whole range of, the whole gamut of diversity pretty much in any group of about 20 or 30 people, you're going to find the same kinds of types. Now, culture then comes in and, tweaks things in all kinds of weird ways. And that's, as a historian, what I'd like to study. I like just how the culture will set the dials, right? But that the dials go from 1 to 10 for most people, it's like, yeah, I think so.
But every once in a while, there'll be a few folks who come along, whether it's Steve Jobs with a turtleneck or some guy with a weird mustache or with a funny hat, and those can turn the tides of history.
I think so. Occasionally, yes.
But they're just ultra skilled at the right time, at the right moment.
Oh, I believe that too. Oh, yeah. In other words, I also don't think that cultural systems or ideologies are so effectively totalitarian that they sort of colonize the mind of every person. And so everyone in a culture is just like a clone. No, you encounter this sometimes in historical scholarship. And no, I think people can sometimes just think for themselves, or they can think outside the box and they can do all kinds of things. And I always want to keep my mind open to that possibility when I'm encountering historical agents.